Okay, so before we get to the big secret itself, we need to lay a little groundwork. It all comes down to understanding the difference between two core parts of human nature, basically two parts of how we're all wired. Let's break them down. Okay, so on one side, you have our innate disposition. You can kind of think of this as our factory default settings, It's that goodness we're all born with, things like honesty and loyalty. But here's the key. This part of us can be changed or influenced by the world around us. On the other side, you've got our core instincts. These are the things we absolutely cannot change. Our need for food, for water, for sleep. They are completely hardwired into us. No changing those. And that is exactly where the secret is hiding. It doesn't mess with our changeable dispositions. Nope. Instead, it targets one of those unchangeable, super powerful instincts. It taps into a deep need that is constant and universal in every single one of us.
And hey, this isn't just Dale Carnegie's idea. The famous American philosopher John Dewey said the exact same thing. He called it the deepest urge in human nature. And when a need is that deep, it drives our behavior in some pretty incredible ways.
And how far will people go? Oh man, you would be absolutely stunned. This one single desire can explain some of the most extreme human behaviors you can possibly imagine, from the kind of strange to the truly bizarre. I mean, the examples are just wild. Some wealthy people build these gigantic mansions they'll never really use, just to feel significant. Others will actually pretend to be sick for years just to get the sympathy and attention that makes them feel important. There was this one incredible case of a woman who faked an illness for a full decade, having her elderly mother take care of her hand and foot, all to satisfy this one deep, deep need. But it's not all negative. Not at all. This desire can also explain some incredible success stories. Let's take a look at the fascinating case of Charles Schwab. Back in 1921, he was the president of the brand new U.S. Steel Company. So his boss, the famous Andrew Carnegie, paid him an annual salary of $1 million in 1921. That's over $3,000 a day. To put that in perspective, back then if you earned $50 a week, you were considered well off. This salary was just astronomical.
So you have to ask, why? What was so special about this guy? Was he some kind of steel-making genius? The greatest financial mind of his generation? Well, the answer surprisingly is no. Schwab himself admitted he wasn't the best at any of that stuff.
Schwab's multi-million-dollar skill wasn't technical at all. It was his incredible ability to make other people feel important. He knew how to get the absolute best out of people through sincere appreciation and encouragement. He was, in his own words, anxious to praise, but loath to find fault. That's why he was worth a fortune. He had mastered the great secret. Okay, so we know the secret. Now for the crucial question. How do we actually apply it in our own lives? Well, the answer is all about understanding a really important distinction. The difference between genuine appreciation and cheap, empty flattery.
It's simple, really. Sincere appreciation comes from the heart. It's honest, it's real. Flattery, that's just from the tongue. It's insincere, it's usually selfish, and you know what? Most people can see right through it a mile away. One builds people up, the other is just manipulation. The key is, it has to be genuine.
Let me share a quick story from one of Carnegie's courses that just perfectly shows the power of choosing appreciation over criticism. It's about a husband and wife, and honestly, it's a real game changer. So this woman was given an assignment to go home and ask her husband to write down 6 things he'd like her to change about herself. Oof, tough ask, right? But instead of getting a list of faults, the very next day at her course, she received a beautiful bouquet of flowers from him. And the note, it just said, "I can't think of 6 things I would want to change in you. I love you just the way you are." I mean, can you even imagine the impact of that? He chose appreciation, and it totally transformed the whole situation. You know, this isn't just something I've read in a book. I saw this exact principle in action in my own home from a woman who is like a second mother to me, our wonderful maid, Sutiatsi. Now, sometimes her cooking wasn't perfect, but I never, not once, criticized it. It just seemed impossible to critique someone who was cooking for me every single day. I just said, thank you. And I saw how that one small act of appreciation made her so incredibly loyal and dedicated. She would wait up for me no matter how late I got home just to make sure I had eaten. That's the power of making someone feel truly valued. So let's wrap this up. The biggest driving force in all of us is that need to feel important. We can satisfy this need in others, our family, our friends, our colleagues, by offering genuine, heartfelt appreciation, not that cheap, empty flattery. And that simple act, well, it can change everything. So I'll leave you with this final thought.
Right now, just think of one person in your life. It could be your partner, a parent, a friend, a coworker. Who could you give a real, sincere, heartfelt dose of appreciation to today? Don't wait. Give it a try and just see what happens.